Shedeur Sanders can't win, ladies and gentlemen. I'm talking about the third string quarterback for the Cleveland Browns, the one that backs up Joe Flacco. He stinks. The one that backs up Dylan Gabriel, third round pick for the Cleveland Browns. He's 5'11", and he will debut against the Minnesota Vikings. Rex Ryan on Sunday decided to throw out some verbal ammo at Shedeur Sanders, telling him, well, instead of me telling you what he said, let me play you the video. Here it is.
Something's missing with this kid. This kid talks. He runs his mouth like I could be a starting quarterback with his arms crossed like this. Get your ass in the front row and study and do all that.
Now, I could poke some holes in his theory of what he's talking about, but before I do that, Shedeur Sanders said, you know what? Let me just listen to Rex Ryan, and here was his rebuttal. Now, he said, I'm not going to say anything to Rex Ryan. I'm just going to be quiet. I'm going to be mute. I'm going to be a mime. Mimes don't talk. Now, obviously, he could have did this better. He could have just answered questions that the reporters were asking him about being demoted behind Joe Flacco, because that is a demotion because Joe Flacco sucks. He could have handled the situation a lot better, but he didn't. He did it the way that he best knew how, to answer Rex Ryan with what he wanted him to do, to shut up. I'm not going to answer any more questions. You told me to shut my mouth. So that's what he did. Now, should he have answered the questions? Yes. Should he have just answered how he felt about being still third string behind Joe Flacco and Dylan Gabriel? Yes. But should we kill him for it? No. But that's what's happening because he is Shedeur Sanders. And anything that people think that's a misstep for him, they want to highlight it, laminate it, and put it on their wall and say, ha, ha, ha. Thank goodness it's something else that we could talk about negative for Shedeur Sanders. Now, let me go back to Rex Ryan for a second. Rex Ryan said, and I quote, "Get to the front of the room," and he said, "You're an embarrassment," something like that. How do you know he's not in the front of the room, Rex Ryan? Do you have sources? And if you do, who are they? Did Kevin Stefanski send you a text message and say he was in row 4 drinking milk and eating bananas? I don't know what that combination is, but who knows? How do you know he's not in the front of the room? Are you just saying these things to seem cool? Because who knows he's not working hard? Who knows he's not the last one out and the first one in practice? You don't know these things, so you're painting a negative picture for Shedeur Sanders, for the casual person who just wants to type in early in the morning at 7:01, Shedeur Sanders, Shedeur Sanders. Oh my goodness, he's not in the front of the room. I knew it. That's why he's third string. That's why I hate the false narrative that goes out about players when you aren't there inside the building. So when you have things like a Shedeur Sanders doing something like this, miming his answers when it doesn't look good and you don't have the full narrative, it just gives the ammo for the haters and the critics to pile on this young man who is already frustrated that he's a third string quarterback. And now he's behind Joe Flacco, who had 2 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, 2 fumbles, 1 fumble, 3 fumbles. It doesn't matter. Older than a box of 16-year-old crayons. What does that even mean? I don't know. Now, why is it that Shedeur Sanders is always in the headlines when people say he's a 5th-round pick, he's a third-string quarterback? Why are we always talking about him? In the NFL, probably the worst thing to be is a famous backup quarterback. If you think about all the things in the world to be in the positions of the NFL, a famous backup quarterback is probably the worst because you're going to get the most attention, especially if you don't have a high caliber starting quarterback to take that attention away. Let's go back to Tim Tebow. The reason why people didn't want Tim Tebow isn't because he wasn't that, okay, well, he wasn't a very good quarterback, but mostly because wherever he went, he was going to overshadow the starting quarterback unless that starting quarterback had vibrato, unless that starting quarterback was that dude. And Cleveland doesn't have that dude. So they're always talking about Shedeur Sanders. When he does something like this, they're going to talk about Shedeur Sanders because Dylan Gabriel doesn't have that bravado. Joe Flacco doesn't have it. Nobody cares. Even Cleveland always posts Shedeur Sanders. They never post about Dylan Gabriel. Look at their social media. It's always Shedeur, and he's the third string quarterback. People cry about it, but they always click and they always watch for some reason. If they don't want to talk about the third string quarterback, why are you watching him? Why is Cleveland posting him? Because they know he's famous. They know he equals views. He equals attention. Nobody on Cleveland's roster at the quarterback position does that. It's the worst position to be in, is a famous backup quarterback. It's the most popular position in the NFL. And when you're famous, you're going to get views, you're going to get clicks, and you're going to be the center of attention. So the best thing for Shedeur Sanders to do is to keep his head down and do whatever it takes to get on the field. Stop giving talking heads like Rex Ryan ammo to say stupid things when probably it's not true. I'm pretty sure Shedeur Sanders is not outside picking dandelions while film session is going in, or he's not in the back writing on a piece of paper what he's going to eat for dinner when he gets home. He has to do things to keep himself out of the spotlight, out of attention, because he's famous. His name is famous. He already came in with a bigger spotlight than Dylan Gabriel will ever have. Nobody watches Dylan Gabriel videos because he's not famous. That's just the facts, and that's what it is. So, in that thought, that's why Shedeur can't win. Whenever he does something bad, it goes straight to the top. And whenever, if he does something good, well, he should do something good. It's about time, you third string quarterback. Whoop-de-doo. So for Shedeur Sanders, he'll never see this video. But it's time to prove him wrong. It's time to show them why you call yourself legendary. Get out there. Dylan Gabriel's up. Joe Flacco is second. It's time to show him why Joe Flacco shouldn't be second. Mr. Turnover, Mr. Interception. Let's get on that field and prove them all wrong. But until then, Shedeur Sanders can't win. I appreciate you. I appreciate everything about you. And if you're still here, make a comment in the comment section. And at the end of your comment, just hashtag Shedeur, because that's what it's about. He can't win these days. Hopefully that will turn around. And if you haven't done so already, hit that like button if you like what you see, and share it. Turn on your notifications, all that YouTube stuff to get it in the algorithm. Until next time, it's all love. Peace.